Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you're waiting for is here. My review slash rant on the Nutshack. Hey guys, it's me, Thomas, and today I'm going to do a review slash rant on the Nutshack. Came of the year of 2007, the year that I was born in. Yeah, the moment that you're waiting for is here. I'm gonna do a review slash rant on a show that I used to like, but not anymore. I can't even believe that I used to like this show in January 2019 when I was 11 years old. Like, oh my god. I can't even believe that I was young when I watched the Nutshack. I was like under the age of 12 years old. It's like I wasn't even in secondary school yet. I was still in primary when I first watched the Nutshack. No joke. I was 11 years old when I first watched this show. I was actually way too young to watch this show. It was way too inappropriate for me to watch at the time. It was actually not suitable for me. Yeah, the Nutshack didn't suit my age when I first watched the show. It was absolutely unpopular and really unlikable. But there's some adult shows that I watched as a young kid, such as Family Guy, American Dad, and South Park, which is the 3 adult animated cartoons that I've just watched as when I was young, because they both aired in the UK, but the Nutshack did not even air in the UK. I mean, Family Guy, American Dad, and South Park were popular shows, but the Nutshack was not popular. It was very unpopular. Nobody even liked that show that much. Not everybody in the whole world liked that show. It's like it never aired in the UK, at least it didn't. Otherwise, it would be so cringe as heck. But anyways, I started to hate this show on the 1st of January 2025 because I thought this show was a good show, but I was wrong. It turned out to be a really unlikable, racist, disgusting show, in my opinion. Can't even believe that I used to like this show as a flippin' 11-year-old. I was still in primary. It's like in my last year in primary when I first knew about the Nutshack. My god. But anyways, let's not waste 99% of the review slash rant on the Nutshack, and let's just talk about the characters in this show. I'm not gonna tell you all of them. I'll tell you, like, the main 5 characters. So we have Phil Mattibag from San Francisco with his cousin Jack Colero from the Philippines. And then we have Phil Mattibag's uncle named Tito. I'm not going to say the last name because it looks like a very bad word. It's like a very disgusting word. It's like that word, like Tito's last word. It's like, it's absolutely disgusting. I am not going to say it. I rather not say it because, yeah, it's just dirty, in my opinion. Then we have Horatio, or Horat, who is Jack Colero's monkey. And we have Chita, who is Jack Colero's girlfriend. But she's also best friends with Phil Mattibag. Isn't that kind of weird or something? But anyway, what do I have to say about this show? Horrendous. Absolutely foul. Because let me tell you the whole plot about this show. Some of the characters in this show have disgusting and dirty jokes in this show. One example, in one episode, that Phil Mattibag just went to the shower area in the episode Road Tripping. Phil Mattibag saw some naked women in the girls' bathroom and fall in love with them, thinking that they're hot. Like, what the hell? Is he out of his mind or something? It's like, I didn't even like that clip. I did not even like it. It's like, I was like, oh my god, what is this? Why did I even watch this show? Why am I watching this? Yeah, in Road Tripping, the episode, Phil Mattibag was being a pervert towards those girls. It's like, what the absolute heck is wrong with him? And then I remember this one episode named Blackapino. Phil Mattibag just asked Jack to act black and told him to act black. Like, what the heck? Is Phil Mattibag a racist or something? Are you racist or something, Phil? What is wrong with you? And I've seen this episode where it comes to violence. Why? Because in the episode Bomber El Bombardero, which is the first episode of season 2, right? In that episode, that Phil and Jack were walking at night with Angel and Ed, and then all of a sudden, Jack Colero just righted Phil Mattibag's address. Yeah, Phil, Jack, Horatio, Tito, and Chitta's address on the wall, and then the police found them doing something that Angel and Ed had to run away before they get caught. They just didn't want to have any trouble, leaving Phil and Jack alone and getting chased by the police. And then Phil Mattibag was captured along with Chitta. And Horatio and Jack were walking in the streets and found Jerome and Jamar with the ninjas. And then we see Phil and Chitta tied up in a rope. And what's the violence? The violence is that Jerome shot Jack in the head, and then Jack just died. And then that other violence scene, where it comes to more violence, is that the ninjas were stabbing Phil Mattibag in the chest until he dies. Well, that's violence as well. I've seen that episode, and I was like, okay, I shouldn't be watching that show. I regretted watching that episode. That's why it came to violence. That's why I didn't even like that show in the first place. It came to violence. While Phil Mattibag and Jack had the jobs to, like, kill the ninjas. That's also illegal. And they could go to jail for doing that, for violating the law. Killing is not right. It's a crime. And you seriously could go to jail for doing that. And oh, speaking of more illegal things in this show, I see that the characters were doing drugs. The characters, including Phil Mattibag, do drugs in this show. Like, they're smoking weed. And there was, like, rapping in this show. There was just rapping in this show. Yeah, Jack acted like a rapper who was told by Phil Mattibag. Yeah, no wonder that the characters in this show sound like they're on drugs. Well, what do I have to say about Phil Mattibag's design? His t-shirt says "Got Nuts," which is pointing down to your private parts. Like, what the heck? That's disgusting. I wouldn't even wear that shirt if I were you. It's like, why the hell did he even wanted to know that? We got private parts, but that doesn't mean you have to have a t-shirt saying "Got Nuts." That's perverted. No wonder Phil Mattibag acts weird in this show. He acts very weird. He's my number one least favorite character in this show. I can't even believe that I used to love him. I regretted liking Phil Mattibag. And, the Nutshack, I regretted making a salute on that show back on my old channel in 2019. And I also regretted making a review on that show, like a positive review on the Nutshack in 2020. But thankfully, before my old channel got terminated, that my salute on the Nutshack is no longer on YouTube. Well, the review, I've deleted the review on the Nutshack that I made in 2020. It's like, I thought at first this show is like really entertaining for me to watch and enjoyable, but no, I find this show to be boring. Yeah, no wonder most users like Natalie Coxis and Andrea Brown, my two good friends on YouTube, hate that show. I do agree with them huge time on that show. I can't even believe that I used to like this show in the first place. Why the heck did I even like this show in the first place? As a flippin' 11-year-old. I regretted it huge time. I was underage when I first watched this show. When I didn't know what that show is. It just turned out, I just watched this show without my parents knowing. If you want to watch an adult show, go watch Family Guy, South Park, American Dad, The Simpsons, etc. Go watch Family Guy, American Dad, South Park, and The Simpsons. Go watch those shows. Go watch Family Guy, American Dad, The Simpsons, and South Park. They're better shows than The Nutshack. Can't even believe I used to like this piece of crap of a show back then. And oh, don't forget this show has toilet humor. Just like in the first episode of The Nutshack, I see Phil Mattibag on the toilet, revealing he was on the toilet. Like, what the heck? That's disgusting. And I've seen this one part where Phil Mattibag was on the top of a building on a roof, and he was actually peeing down the street. He was actually peeing from the top of the roof right down to the street as he was like peeing on people. Like, what the hell? That's very disgusting and gross. What the hell is wrong with him? I almost forgot. In the episode Karma, I just seen, it's like, the uncensored version, it had the N-word in it in one part. I'm not joking. And what do I think about the theme song, if you're wondering? The theme song is absolutely annoying and cringe because it keeps on repeating "It's the Nutshack" all over again, which is annoying. I mean, we get "It's the Nutshack," the show, but that doesn't mean that this show has to repeat "It's the Nutshack" all over again. It's annoying. It just cringes me right out. It just cringes me right out. I did not even enjoy this show at all. I find it boring. I was actually bored of this show, and I drifted away from that show. It's like last year I started to drift away from that show. That show was unlikable. At least I did not even add merchandises of that show in the first place. Not even plushies of that show. At least I didn't. Otherwise, that would have been cringe. I wouldn't even want to play with them. Yeah, the Nutshack, in my opinion, is really terrible. If you want to watch a better adult show, there's some shows like Family Guy, American Dad, The Simpsons, and South Park. Go watch those shows if you prefer them better than the Nutshack. It's like, don't listen to what that show says, because the Nutshack is just it's going to be an absolute waste of time for me to watch. I actually didn't even like enjoying that show. Some of the episodes were boring, but I know in the past I liked some of them, but not all of them. I didn't even watch all of them because I found them to be boring. But anyways, What do I have to say about this show? What's my rating on the Nutshack? I give it a 0 out of 100. It's abomination. It's bullcrap. And it's absolutely a horrible and unlikable show, in my opinion. All the 12 characters in this show are really unlikable, including Phil Mattibag. Awful show. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.